Building in public is one of the best ways to attract an audience. I've used this tactic to attract over 280,000 readers and make over $1.5 million, starting as a complete beginner in my niche. But there is a fine line between building in public and bragging in public, and a lot of people walk it wrong. In this video, you'll see a client interview where I share how to share results without sounding self-centered, how to turn mistakes into momentum, and how to position yourself as an expert as fast as possible. Enjoy.
I have experience. I have experience, and so you have experience. At what point do you qualify yourself as an expert? I guess you're always an experimenter and you're always an explorer, and then there's a point, you have proof of work, but you don't say it with bragging. Is that is that how you present yourself as an expert? You're not. I think I see the difference when you present yourself as an expert. You brag with your proof.
Yeah.
Is that the way you go about it?
Yeah. Well, it's really going to depend on your vibe as well. So I think there's two ways that we can present our proof. We have like the guide and the guru. And the guru, like it does work, as in you're the person up at the top talking down, and like this is precisely what you do, and here are my results. And that can be quite good. It really depends on your one true fan. Like I know that, for example, in my space, like the online business space on Twitter, there's a lot of guru style people because it's like 95% male young guys there, and they want like daddy to tell them what to do. And it works. But it's really how you like to present it. So I just don't like being that sort of person. And so when I have proof, my rule for not coming on my own like principle for it is just that if I'm going to show proof, I'm either going to use it to teach, or I'm going to express gratitude. It's like, hey, I got this result and it feels so goddamn good to help someone, or I'm really grateful for someone's trust, or along those lines. And the reason being that marketing is a like a game of perception, and I think a lot of people undersell themselves in that way because like, I don't want to talk about my results that much, or I feel a bit braggy. But this is what builds trust. And so I do it that way because then I can post about my proof without feeling like I'm like, hey, look at me. And so, yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. Just philosophically, I've been having this conversation with a whole group of women on WhatsApp for a while.
Okay.
And I think that you are broaching an explanation of why it's perceived that there are more coaches out there that are men, that they have kind of I don't know, it's almost like a bull in a china shop, kind of way of presenting themselves and demonstrating and bragging that but they do have evidence of proof of their ability. But I don't know if it's women. You are an example of a man that doesn't want to do it, but it's just been an ongoing discussion about the philosophies on presenting yourself as an expert.
Yeah. Well, I saw Diana raised her hand here, and she's very into this space. So I'd love to bring up Diana too, and then
Diana, I need to follow you and read how you present. And it doesn't need to be male, female, except that I don't know, people I'm having these conversations with are noticing it.
Yeah. Let me tell you very quickly, because we've had female clients who are struggling to brag, really. In all fairness, I think you should be bragging because it's the fastest way for a stranger to say, okay, I can connect something in my brain to the result, basically what Kieran said. But it's very hard for me to. And the story I usually tell and what I have discovered is we were in this room at an event with a bunch of rich people and me. And I was there for the only reason that I had a fluent English, and my boss was like, "Go and close me 3 millions." You know, I can't tell to those people. So it was all. You know, we went to ski in Aspen. We went scuba diving for the weekend. And then I see, you know, I sit among those people, you know, scuba diving in the and I have nothing. And they were like, "I have nothing. I have no cool status story to show that I'm rich and travel the world and blah, blah, blah." And they were like, "Diana, what did you do during the weekend?" And I was like, very sincerely and without thinking, saying, "I broke a bank." We were doing a disaster recovery center. It's very technical, but basically we had to break a bank deliberately and see if it will work again. It didn't. And my point, we spent the night fixing it, and then I had a crowd of people gathering around. "So what happened? How did you fix it? Did it open in the morning?" So one thing I really like when communicating status is what I call selling with mistakes, because there is the proof. There is you know, the screenshots and everything, but another angle apart from the gratitude, I really stand with Kieran. You can say I'm grateful because I helped the client. It feels marvelous, and that is true. But the other thing you can do is just to talk about your mistakes, and the bigger the mistake, and the bigger your hero landing, and the proof you have for it is a form of status of itself. Now, Kieran is a bigger expert than me. I don't know if mistakes would work as well for code.
Bigger mistakes.
The bigger mistakes, the bigger the status is. I mean, how many people can say I broke a bank? How many people can say, you know, I lost 3 millions? You know,
Yeah.
So the point is, you can use that, but then Kieran, I would go back to Kieran and ask, because mistakes work amazingly well for me for warm audiences. And sometimes really, if the story is told well, for code, for people who see my content for the first time. So Kieran, what are your thoughts on the mistakes?
Yeah.
As a form of bragging, combo bragging.
Well, it's actually in week 4, the cohort. I built my whole brand on screw ups, so I'm a big fan of it. But the reason mistake orientated content works is because there's a degree of vulnerability to take that approach, and it's a great way. It's like you're basically saying how I have done something instead of how you need to do it. And there's a humility to opening up with an error. The only thing, obviously, is that if you're going to talk about mistakes, is that you don't just bring the problem, you bring the solution. Because I saw this on Twitter. This guy was complaining that 2 clients had fired him because he wasn't replying fast enough. But that was it. He just complained. He was like, "Screw these guys." And actually, you know, if he had said, "Oh, but I introduced this system and then I got my clients back and this is what we do now," it was a really good post. But and then I think people took humility to the point of like it negatively impacts clients wanting to work with you. So mistakes is another good way to teach and come across as a guide, as opposed to the guru side of things. One thing you mentioned, Courtney, was you were a bit confused, not confused, but the difference between explorer, experimenter, and expert. Do you want to get into that as well, or has this helped?
No, I understand the difference between them. That was well described, and I appreciated it's I really like you've just very in a concrete and very succinct structure, you've outlined how the transformation might be presented. So I have no questions there.
Okay, cool. And has anything come up based on what Diana and I have said for you now? Any questions based on what we've said to you right now?
No. Diana, thank you very much for those examples. It's great to have your perspective as well. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, Courtney.